Hey guys, in this video I'm going to introduce and explain my course on improvisation. I have been improvising since I was young, mostly on the piano, which was my primary instrument at the time, but I really wasn't very good for the longest time. Eventually, with years of practice and experience, I did improve, but I really wasn't very good at first. And I'm telling you that to help you overcome any fear you might have of taking that first step. The first step is the most important one to take, but it's also the most difficult. You're trying something new, you're diving into the unknown, and that can be very intimidating, especially when there's this pressure to perform at a certain level or to a certain standard. And that standard is typically based on what other players sound like, especially more advanced players, or what we expect an improvisation to be. And so it can be very helpful and very liberating to reframe that entire approach and take the emphasis off of the actual level of performance and instead prioritize having fun, enjoying the creative process, and learning from mistakes, as well as setting realistic goals for yourself and valuing improvement, however slow that improvement might be. So the goal of this course is to overcome that fear by building skills and techniques that allow you to create the music that you want to create. So the first thing to note is that learning to improvise is just like learning to speak a language. So there are several components here. One of them is we need to understand the grammar of this language. And the grammar of music is music theory. So we're going to talk about every possible scale or mode that you would ever need to know and how to use those in different styles of music. We're going to talk about every kind of chord that you'll need to know, triads, seventh chords, all the good stuff, and how to apply those in context. We're going to talk about chord tones versus non-chord tones and how those function, skips versus steps versus leaps. We're going to talk about rhythmic concepts. We're going to talk about phrase lengths and compositional structure and compositional strategies. We're going to talk about repetition versus variation. A whole host of things that are associated with the mechanics of how musical phrases are actually put together. Now, while you're studying up on your grammar, you need to start developing your vocabulary in this new language as well. Now, vocabulary will differ from style to style, so I'm going to give you the tools to learn and memorize pieces of vocabulary in the style of music that you enjoy. Occasionally, I'll also be giving you some vocabulary myself in a variety of styles, and you can either take that exactly as is and just put it right into your repertoire, or adapt them as needed for your style. Now, while you begin to understand the grammar and build your vocabulary in this language, you also need to start developing fluency. And we are going to develop musical fluency by using a series of parametrized exercises. So a parametrized exercise is one where we laser focus on a single task or a single technique, and we remove all other variables in order to really allow ourselves to focus on that one task without distraction. So imagine you're trying to practice using triad chord tones over a particular tune. Okay, so what you do is you tell yourself, I'm only going to play quarter notes. I am only going to use these triad chord tones. Go. So that removes a lot of creative decisions that ultimately would be distracting from actually practicing this one skill. So you work on these skills separately in a focused manner, and then you combine them later, and you actually get really satisfying results. So that's how we're going to build fluency in the language of improvisation. That's it for this video. As always, if you have any questions, shoot me a message. Hope to see you guys in improvisation.